Hello viewers and students. In this lecture we are going to discuss residential status of Hindu undivided family under section 6 of Income Tax Act. Friends, in last lecture we have discussed the determination of residential status of individual, and in this lecture we are going to discuss the residential status of Hindu undivided family. Friends, residential status is very important in determination of tax liability of any person, whether it is individual or Hindu undivided family. Today we must see what is residential status of Hindu undivided family. So, friends, income tax is the tax which is imposed on the basis of residential status. The tax is imposed upon income, and the tax is imposed on the basis of residential status. The person who is resident is liable to pay tax on his all income, whether it is earned in India or it is earned outside the India. The person who is non-resident is liable to pay tax on income which is earned in India only. It means his income which is received outside India or which is earned outside India is not taxed if that person is determined as non-resident of India. So the residential status is determined. Specifically, the residential status of Hindu undivided family is determined on the basis of control and management of Hindu undivided family and residential status of Karta. As you know, Hindu undivided family is the concept under Hindu law. It is a concept under Hindu personal law, and Karta is the person who is responsible for management of Hindu undivided family. So let me discuss how the residential status of Hindu undivided family will be decided. That is decided under section 6 of that act. See, we are going to discuss determination of residential status under section 6 of Income Tax Act 1961. See, as just I have told you, the residential status of Hindu undivided family is decided, is determined on the basis of control and management of Hindu undivided family, as well as what is the status of Karta in that previous year. See, uh, generally, the control and management of Hindu undivided family can be wholly in India, or that can be partly in India. So in case the control and management of Hindu undivided family is wholly situated in India, in such circumstances that Hindu undivided family is considered as a resident of India. The same thing is with the second case also. When the control and management of Hindu undivided family is partly situated in India and partly situated outside India. In this case also, the status of that Hindu undivided family shall be a resident. But the next can be the control and management of Hindu undivided family if it is wholly situated outside the India. In such circumstances, the status of such Hindu undivided family is non-resident. Again, as I have told you that income of this first two cases, whether the control and management is wholly situated located in India, or it is partially located or situated in India and partially outside India, in both cases that status of Hindu undivided family is resident, and the income of that Hindu undivided family, whether it is earned in India or outside India, that will be taxed as per the Income Tax Act 1961. In these both cases, they both Hindu undivided families are considered as a resident company, and in this case, its control and management is situated outside India. that Hindu undivided will be considered as a non-resident, and the income which is earned by that non-resident Hindu undivided family, only that income which is earned in India will be taxed, and the income which is earned outside India, that will not be taxed as per the provisions of Income Tax Act. Then friends, the resident is also divided into two categories. Residential status of Hindu undivided family is also divided into two categories. The first category is a resident and ordinary resident. When any Hindu undivided family satisfies these two categories, then that Hindu undivided family will be considered as a resident. But further, resident is divided into two categories. First category is a resident and ordinary resident, and this is dependent upon what is the status of karta of that Hindu undivided family. And if the karta of Hindu undivided family satisfy section 6 clause 6 of Income Tax Act, when the karta of that Hindu undivided family satisfy section 6 clause 6, it means the conditions which are mentioned in a section 6 clause 6 of Income Tax Act 1961. In such circumstances, that Hindu undivided family will be considered as a resident and ordinary resident. So these conditions are, see, first condition is that the karta has been resident in India at least 2 years out of 10 years immediately preceding the relevant year. Relevant year means the year in of which the tax liability is going to be considered. So the karta should be the resident of India for at least 2 years in last 10 years before the relevant year, before the previous year. And second condition is that he has been in India for a period of 730 days or more during 7 years immediately preceding the relevant previous year. So if these two conditions are satisfied by the karta, then the status of Hindu undivided family will be resident and ordinary resident. Then we must see the second category, and the second category is resident and not ordinary resident. And see, when any Hindu undivided family satisfies the two conditions, comes under the case of either this or either the wholly in India or partly in India, then it will be considered as a resident. But that will be non-resident and non-ordinary resident if the karta of that Hindu undivided family do not satisfy any of condition, do not satisfy both condition. In certain circumstances, it may not satisfy any condition, or it may satisfy only one condition which are mentioned here. So in such circumstances, that Hindu undivided family will be considered as a resident and not ordinary residents. So friends, these are the conditions, these are the circumstances in which Hindu undivided family will be considered. The residential status of Hindu undivided family will be considered as a resident or non-resident, or resident and ordinary resident, and resident and non-ordinary resident. So if you have any doubt, you can mention it in comments. So friends, thank you, thank you for your patient listening. So